Hello, welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. I'm here to assist you in your life's journey and remembering your dream, your thoughts are yours, and your perspectives are yours. Hello, Veronica. How are you doing today? And I'm so always grateful for you. And you're always here with me, so I appreciate you. And I'm sending you a lot of love. So with that, as we're going forward here, hi Kimberly, thank you for being here too. And I appreciate you being here also because you're amazing. And anybody else who's popping in, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want you to remember your truth is your truth, no matter where I speak about. It's my understanding, my downloads from my team that may be interacting with your team to support you in your life's walk. So your truth is your truth. I'm just here to support you in your life's journey. And boy, are we coming into some big, well, we've been in them, I know, these big changes. But at the same time, though, we've been in these moments where we're awakening into ourself. And I'm just going to tell you, that if you haven't been feeling off-centered, not grounded, all those things, I'm going to say that, wow, you are amazed at, it's like you've gone through this with some grace and ease. Because I know people have been tired around me, off-centered, just kind of prickly, just that like not being able to get some good sleep. It's almost like the mind is running. But I can also tell you, I am witnessing people making some big changes. Big changes. And it doesn't necessarily mean that some of these changes are tremendous, but like one has changed from being just campus safety to another position, another person's changing into another school, job into another school, leaving one that she's been doing for the last 4 years. Another person that I know is on a journey to become her greater self if she can walk through those fears and those you know to be courageous, that's my mantra this month, is I'm going to be courageous through to my next step in my life, right? Because we're all in the midst of these big shifts and changes, and we need courageousness to do it. And I know that, it's going to take that deep soul walk to jump into what we're needing to do. And I know for me personally, I've been doing some deep soul speaking out of truths, right? That have been needing to be said. And I'm looking back going, why didn't I say this 20 years ago? But I wasn't there 20 years ago. I'm here now today. And, it's like we can't shame ourselves from where we've been. We got to do what we're doing right now today, which is the calling. So if you're having a calling to do something, to go somewhere, even if it's just being willing to love yourself. I mean, it doesn't have to make these big job changes and all these, home changes and all these different things. It could be as simple as just deciding to love yourself. So if you're deciding to do these things that are just like, you got to do them, and it's about being honored for who you are. And it's that, like one day I had this thing that I needed to send a text, right? And so I had these emotions that were just blurring, they were just building up on me. And if I didn't if I didn't get the text out of me or the words out of me, I wouldn't have slept. But I knew I needed to do that, so I sat on the stairs on my way up the stairs to go to bed, and I wrote a text. Did I send it? No, because Mercury's going to be going into retrograde soon, right? So I'm already feeling that energy. So I paused myself, didn't send it, reread it in the morning, reapplied, took a couple things out, added a couple things, kind of clarified some language, and you know what came out of that? Because I had the patience and if I had the intention, I was able to actually find a peacefulness with it. And I sent it. And the person who received it, said, "Oh my gosh, thank you for sending that. I really needed that. I really needed that understanding and that clarity." And so if you are feeling like, and for me, that verbalization was one of the biggest steps I could have ever taken. It might have been seemed simple to some people, but it was the biggest thing I could have done for myself to find my empowerment. So it wasn't shaming or claiming anybody else. It was just truthfulness. And that truth speaking is what I needed to do. And so if you are finding yourself needing to find some truth, finding that truth in yourself, finding that understanding in yourself, like the other day, it's like I was standing on the playground and all of a sudden my right knee was starting to hurt. I'm like going, "Why is my knee aching? This isn't me. This is not my knees don't hurt me, right?" And so I ended up, looking that up, Googling what does the right knee represent. And I knew that I got the hit, intuitive head, look it up because I knew that and then it ended up being that there was some questions that Google ended up saying that were actually pretty pertinent for what I needed to do. And then my left shoulder was getting itchy, right? Masculine, right side, feminine, the left side. And so, I was reading what the shoulder represented. Well, it was kind of mirroring a lot of the energy I was producing through my left knee, or my right knee to my left shoulder, was kind of mirroring each other. And so with that it was like I was looking at the masculine and the feminine of things. And so when you're going into this, there is this moment where we have to understand that our bodies are speaking up right now too. And so listen to your body, listen to that energy, because we're coming into some points of big, like the next 2 years, certain planets are going to be in for the next 2 years. So we're setting up the next 2-year plan of our life. Right. And it doesn't mean that we have to jump. It doesn't mean that we have to leap, but it's the next 2 years of the thing. So like as I was hugging the person who is changing schools, and it was like I was hugging her because I'm sad inside because I'm gonna miss seeing her, right? I'm gonna miss that interaction, but I'm so excited for her. I am just so excited for her, because we have these daily, not daily, but more daily conversations, and I'm gonna miss that interaction of somebody who actually gets me, right? And so, we're not going to be stopping friends, but we're going to stop that daily interaction. And so, we're going to have these grief moments as life is moving forward. And, that's the thing about life is that, change is happening, but oh my gosh, we're coming into this that it's like, that what we're thinking is really happening and what we're going to do is really happening. Like for me, it's not necessarily that I'm in the frequency of what I'm thinking all the time, but I can tell you when I wake up, I'm not going to be down that rabbit hole anymore. I'm going to, if I'm feeling like this morning I was feeling headachy, my kidneys and my liver are kind of going through it again, and so I'm trying to drink more water. And, it's like, because the kidneys are about flushing, right? They're about flushing the old story, about moving forward and flushing out our realities and the energies that we've been in. And so, like, I was talking to my spirit team and they were saying, love your water. Represent, water isn't necessarily what goes through our kidneys. Water is about what we're drinking. And so, loving what we have, holding it, in the shower, thank you, water, for watering me, putting things through me so that I can water myself out. And so, if you need to stand in the shower a little bit more right now, you know honor or hold your water, or if you're washing your hands, ask the water and the soap to wash away some of these things that you're going through. If you're going to the bathroom, remembering that's a way to flush out some of these old stories, because I'm going to tell you, if you're bringing some of these old stories together, and I know for a couple years ago on my show I was talking about how it seems like right now we're going through the energy of cleaning out the gutters of the back 40 shed. that's like on, our house is on, the front of the property, and you're cleaning out the gutters of the shed that's in the back, 40 of the pastures, right? Well, right now, we're making that shed back there our home because we're moving forward. And so, it's like, no wonder we were meant to clean out the gutters a couple years ago, because it's really time for us not to move our new stories into our new houses. It doesn't mean you have to move your house, but your new house, your head, what are your thoughts? What are your energies? Because I can tell you that, as I have someone who's going through, you know, an addiction thing here, like I'm going through my addiction thing, that addiction thing, is part of making herself a new home, right? That new home of our thoughts and our prayers and our knowings. And so if you're feeling like you are shifting out of these old understandings, because it is huge right now to negotiate that. And it's huge to be where you're at, because I can tell you that me sending that text is producing a new home for my heart to sit in. And I know that for me, like right now, I'm going through a real phlegmy time. I'm real congested through here. And dairy's always been a thing for me. It's like it's a thing. But I can tell you though that me wanting to detox the phlegm, which is taking myself off of wheat, water, I mean, or dairy. For me, it's more dairy feeling than it is the wheat and a lot of it could be sugar too. But, because things like that can make you phlegmy, it's just an allergen in the body. It's a disharmony of the body. And so, for me, taking myself off of dairy, well, it's like I've been not able to take some deep breaths. And I was talking to my spiritual team, and they were saying, Natasha, though, you've been holding your breath. You've been holding your breath for others. You've been holding your breath for yourself. You've been holding your breath for your household. You've been holding your breath for your kids. You've been holding your breath for a lot of things. And now it's time for you to breathe. Take that deep breath of your life. Take that deep breath of who you are, right? And that's the thing is that's making a new home for me in my body. My body is my home, my temple, right? So what are you doing to create that new home for yourself so you can find that new rhythm of who you are? Because it's not necessarily about shifting up anything, but it's truth, finding a new home for a truth that you have. And this is that timeline, because right now, I'm looking at my phone here to get some dates down, right? And so the eclipse season starts on February 17th, right? And we go through these eclipses every spring and every fall. But the correlation with these is just amazing. So the eclipse is happening on February 17th. What's the other thing happening on February 17th? We are done with the snake year, which, oh my gosh, if the year of the snake, Chinese year of the snake, and the 9 year that we had in 2025, if that didn't kick your butt, I know for me, every time it kicked my butt, I'm like, good, I can get it over with so I can move on, right? So that kicking of that butt, that getting it out of there, that shedding of that skin, that shedding of who you are, that shedding of old belief systems. But now we have to flush those old belief systems out and through our body, if it's in the body. If it's sitting, like for me, it's like my shoulder was achy and it's feeling better. But then when I went to the chiropractor, my elbow was achy. And I said, oh, well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because the energy is flowing down. And now my wrist has been a little achy, so I'm getting that energy moving down that's stopping me from moving forward. And as you can tell, it's like I help it by moving things through, right? It's like bringing the energy down your arm and then out your fingers. So going into this, that your body is going to feel it. But so we're going into this eclipse in Aquarius. So it's about that new belief system. If you want to look up what the Aquarius and all that kind of stuff, that's where I'm not a necessarily astrologer, but yet I'm moving forward. And so with that eclipse in February 17th, with the Chinese New Year coming from the year of the snake to the year of the fire horse. And for me, it's on a 60-year cycle. So I was born in the year of the fire horse. I am now having my next second rebirth, which is my second Saturn return at the same time with the 10-year. So the 10 is that 1 year, the new beginnings, but it's like, let's get it going. Let's get that universal zero going forward into that new one so that we got the connection of the two together, the 10. Let's walk together with the 10, which is actually the fire horse. Oh, I just got this download. Oh my gosh, thank you, universe. You're seeing an aha moment for me. Oh my gosh. The 10. The 10 is going together. Horses. They don't like to be solitary, or very few of them do. There's a few. They like to be in groups, right? You're the horse, the fire horse. It's like the chariots. The chariot fire horses. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then the chariot that comes down in the fire. Remember how in the old uh what is it, the Greek mythology? The fire, the chariot fire, or the Roman? The Greek with the Roman, right? Somebody give me some clarity if you're watching. But that fire, the chariot, the fire chariot, the universe is coming down to support us. It's going forward, this 10-year of moving into it. So we got this fire horse coming in. Oh my gosh, but that does not mean that we're going to be done with shedding. No. What does a horse do in the springtime? It sheds its old fur off and it gets its new. When it needs to express something, what does a horse do? It goes right? It just brings out that breath. And so let your breath out so you can take a deep breath in. The horse is also about not necessarily fear and flight, right? What does a mare do when it has a foal, right? It protects it. It protects it. And what does a stallion do of that herd? It comes up and protects it. Now, what does the female of the herd actually is the leader. They lead, the oldest mare leads the front of the herd to the next water, to the grass, to the next journey. The stallion brings up the back and supports, right? So you might find more feminine energy being more acceptable to lead right now because we're coming into a little bit more of the masculine and feminine balance. Because what is it? The feminine leads, the masculine supports and moves forward. And so let's find the balance between the two, because this is about it. And as I'm talking about the fire horse, I'm talking about two horses that go together, maybe masculine and maybe feminine, right? The masculine and the feminine. And so what can we do to lead, pull that cart of our life together with both the balance of the masculine and feminine? Whew, download. And I know that may seem like a simple download, but when you really think about this underlying sense of things, it's going to move through, right? And it's about honoring who you are and what you're doing, because right after that eclipse and the fire horse energy coming in, which horses like to run, they trot, they gallop, so you might feel like the energy might be galloping through you. Let it move through you. It might be a nice gentle walk. It might be going in circles for a little bit so you can get the thoughts going into, how the horses go around the ring, right? It's like you might find that you might be going in circles for a little bit until you find your right or truth to pull you forward. And so going into this, watch how horses do their negotiation, and you'll be able to negotiate this year a little bit better, because after we have the 17th, with that, we'll be having a March 3rd in Virgo. Whoo, this one's going to be big. And it's the last one visible from the Northwest until 2028, right? So this is pretty powerful for the northern area. And so as you're going into this, that we might feel it more in the north than the south, because the eclipse, like the eclipse in the on the 17th, is going to be more in the south. And so we'll have the remnants of it, but we may not have the fullity of it. And so going into this, I know what you're saying. Yeah. So going into this, that the 17th might be just a little bit more gentler on us, because we're going into this, but we're also having Mercury going into retrograde about that same time. So rethink, re-know, retell, like I did with the text. I didn't send it right away. I reread it. I thought about it. What was my intention? So remembering that as we're coming in the first Mercury in retrograde of 2026, that it's very powerful in between these eclipses, right? That eclipse time frame, because on March 3rd is that as the full moon, which is actually in the northwest here, or not in the northwest, but in the northern hemisphere. And so we in that moon, hoi, oi, 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 and it's in Virgo. And so how can we find our more homer self? And Virgos, their lifelong journey is to find self-love, right? Without that self-love, and I can tell you that every decision that has been made around me that I have witnessed, it's about how do I love myself and what is my truer calling to do? What do I need to do to help myself be more at peacefulness in me? What can I do now? This person moving schools, that it's going to be a whole new job for her. She's going to have to figure out how to negotiate it. The person that I was talking to got a new phone. That's kind of like a new life, right? She's making new decisions in her life, so she got a new phone to find out how she can negotiate herself. So we're coming into this new understandings of our realities. If you I'm not going to tell you that it's time for you to change jobs. I'm not going to tell you that it's time for you to move into your new reality. It's not time for you to make these big leaps and changes unless you feel like it's the right thing for you to do. Like my friend who's moving schools, she walked into the school for the interview and she goes, "This is my next home." And she didn't say it like, "This is my next home." She was like, "No, this is my next home. This is my next home." And that it was that deep understanding in herself. And so if you can, check in with yourself. I had another person who was asking me about trading his car for a truck. And I was like, "What does your gut want you to do?" And he started rattling off things that his mind wanted him to know about. I said, "No, no, 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 no. What does your gut want you to do? What do you feel when you sit in that truck? What do you feel when you sit in and look at that truck? Or is this not feeling quite right and you need to get something else?" It's find out what you feel in this moment. What feels gut right to you? Your mind's going to play mind games all the way around, right? And it's like we have these levies that are being we had today's the day we're finding out the information about them, right? Did they pass or did they not pass? Because if they don't pass, it's people's jobs for next year. And so, going into this, that it's about, you know, I can't freak out about it. I know I'm not, my head's not on the chopping block, but yet at the same time though, I can't freak out about it. My nervous system has gone through so much that I cannot freak out about things anymore. I don't care if it's age. I don't know if it's whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I just know that my nervous system has been cooked and done for a while, and I'm finally honoring it by saying, you know what? I'm going to stay as cool cookie as I can, right? That more level, or I might have some ups and downs of things happening, kind of like me needing to send that text. That was a little bit of a roller coaster, a little bit of how was it going to be perceived, how was it, but at the same time though, I didn't really care how it was going to be perceived because it was my truth that needed to be said. I did it with intention. I did it with respect. I did it with kind words. I did it with everything that I could be responsible for. But then I moved it on, right? So when you're coming forward that, you know, really, what does your heart center want you to do? What does your gut center want you to do? What is your belly button telling you when you move into this? Is this the right thing for you? Like my girlfriend was saying, yes, this is my next home. And it was very grounded. It was so grounded. So it's not time to leap and it's not time to jump and it's not time to do unless something feels centered and grounded. Like my girlfriend who ended up having to do a trip, to California. You know, for her next step in her life, the next chapter she wants to put in her book, the new chapter, the new book she wants to write in the sequel. Oh my gosh, we're in a total new ability to write a new book, right? That we're moving forward into this knowing and this understanding that we got to be realizing, what do we want to write in our book? Do we want kind of, we don't want drama trauma. No, we want something that says, look at her, look at this person, look at what they're doing. Oh my gosh, they're so inspirational. So honor where you're at and honor what you're doing and honor what that feeling is, because sometimes the biggest steps can be the little thing by taking some deeper breaths like me, right? Me learning to trust my emotions and trust my body to take deeper breaths without being the sabotage of the phlegm in my body, right? That's huge for me. So honor those, even the little things. Finding out that you can eat a little different. Finding out that if you do this thing, like sometimes if you don't go to sleep until midnight, but you go to bed at 9 o'clock and your body rests until then, that might be what you need, right? It's not about maybe going to bed at 11:30 when you want to go to bed and sleep at 12. No, maybe you need to rest yourself up. Maybe you need to just scribble some in a notepad, scribble, scribble, scribble in that notepad, and to get things out of your mind, because usually the mind is playing games with us. So when you are in the moment of reality, when you're in the moment of us doing things, and when we're in the moment of where we're going, whoo, it's that moment of eclipse, because we're coming into a time where these eclipses happen, correlation with the newer moon, right? That newer moon, which means that there's not a lot of light in the air, in the sky. There's not, we're doing things through the new moon, is through the darkness. The new moon is being able to persevere through the unseen, right? The courage to jump into something that is something like, I can take a deep breath and my body knows how to do it. So as you're going into this understanding that that's part of this dance, and then when you have the full moon, releasing things in the light, I can see things in the light, but then we're going to have an eclipse with it, right? And so going into this, then we don't have the full vision. At a certain point we might go, am I supposed to do it? Am I supposed to do it? I don't know if I should do it. Like my friend who's going to buy a vehicle, trade out his vehicle. Should I do it or should I not do it? That's up to you. I can't tell you, right? I can give you tools to do it. Like I told him, what is your gut? Stay out of the mind. But what does your gut want you to do? Trusting that, because we're coming down into our body center. We're coming down into our understanding. And it's time for us to really, that fiery horse cart, the chariot, that fire chariot that's in the sky is going to come down and park in front of us. And what are we going to be willing to step into and do? Right. And so going forward in that it is about that belief in you to have the courage. Because if we don't believe in ourselves, how are we going to move into that courage? Because I can tell you that, sometimes when we move into a new position, not everything we're going to like about it, right? Not everything we're going to like about it. If we're There's going to be things that we like about our old life compared to our new life. But the thing is, though, we would not be asked to move on if we weren't meant to move on. Hmm. Now, I've kind of mentioned that, things in this house that my husband really wanted me to move out of this house for a little while. That's kind of changed a little bit right now. I'm grateful because we're kind of coming into a different understanding because of truths being said. And one day I was sitting on the couch and I saw the house empty, totally empty. Wow, that vision was huge for me. Not seeing a single thing in my house, and I realized the house still loves me. I love this house. This house is still willing to hold me, but it's me who makes my home. It's me who makes my home. There's much more to that statement. It's me who makes my understanding and my home home. We have an opportunity right now to really wake up our truth center. So if you're doom scrolling, start practicing. Is this my truth? This isn't my truth. Is there something that feels off about it? Yes, something feels off about it. I don't know. Like I just had a video of somebody who I was watching at the very beginning of my finding out about my liver and my kidneys and that kind of stuff. And um and this person came by in my feed and I kind of liked what he said, but I didn't buy his stuff. I didn't go in and do, but I listened to the generalness of his message. And then come to find out that there's something that this person believes in that I struggle a little bit with just because of the cloak that they put over people's eyes. That's one thing that I struggle with some of the belief system of churches is the cloak, the Kool-Aid that people drink. That's their truth. It's their walk. I honor that. I honor you. The thing is, though, I didn't do anything else but just listen to him, which actually led me to other people that gave me some greater knowledge. He was the seed planter. I got more information from people that aligned with me more. So remembering that as you're going forward, find your truth center through what you need to. And it's a collective of many different things. It's the opposites of you, that thing that just doesn't sit right. That's finding a perspective so that you can move into another truth center for what's something that's more centering with you. Because if you don't know what doesn't fit, then how are you going to know what fits? Right? So it is that moment of believing in what you are and who you are. Because the energies right now, ooh, ooh, ooh. So remembering negative thoughts right now are going to be so palatable. Negative inspirations of yourself are going to be so if you're so deeming yourself as negative right now, it's going to be so depleting of yourself. We can shame ourselves, we can guilt ourselves, and I'm going to tell you that there is actually good shaming out there. Now we got to be very careful because it's a very thin line, but it's like, hey, dude, you know, you really oh, what's this thing? Your anger may be really damaging to your kids, right? Have you ever thought about your tone with your kids? I know that for me that when people speak to me nicer, I can really, and I just was throwing that out there. So what I just said, please know that that's not a perfect intentional said, right? But there's a positive shaming that we can do for people to bring them into it. Like my husband says that you're better than that, right? You're better than that. It's like, yeah, I am better than that. And guess what? I am better than what I think myself as. I am better than what I think myself as. And, there's this moment where I was getting some insights, and I know I'm complete. I know I am complete. The only thing that I'm not complete of is what I believe that I'm not complete of. Well, that happened to me when I was a child, so that takes away from me. Oh, that happened to me during a argument with my ex-husband. Yeah, that depleted that from me. Those are belief systems, right? That's the belief system that I'm less than that. We are all empowered. We are all full. We are all one. We are all together. It's our belief system that we're not that makes us less than. So, you know what I did? I asked Jesus and Mother Mary, can you help me fill in my love that I have an understanding that I'm less of? Can you help fill in the people around me, the love that they feel that they are less of? Now, I went into a deeper conversation with that, but I'm not going to give that out because that's more private than I want to give. But the thing is, though, remembering that we have a spirit team around us, whatever your belief system is, they're your spirit team. So lay yourself into their arms and know that you are protected and you are good. Boy, after I said, can you help fill up these loves that I'm somewhere in me feeling less than? Wow. That was powerful. That was powerful. So if you can, remembering that life is about learning to be our complete self, whatever that looks like. Now, I know that my mother of heart, who came into my life after my mom passed away, she says, I'm learning more about myself on my deathbed than I have my whole life. She went through some walk. Did she go back home whole? No. But I can also tell you that a lot of times when we are sitting on the other side of life, observing our life as the human we are, that's when we become whole. That's when our soul becomes more whole again. Because in this physical body, it's about learning about your emotions and your story and your life's journey and who are we and what are we. And this is the lifetime. This is the greatest lifetime, except for when we've lived on these other timelines where there's these different places of Aquaria, all these different Lemuria and all those different places, right, on different planets that are awakened. We've had these lifetimes where we've been on these awakened places. But this physical body at this time, in this understanding, in this planet, in this timeline, where you are listening to me and I am interacting, in that timeline, we feel like we're not whole. And we're becoming the most whole that we can be on this planet. In this timelines where we're at. So if you can right now, start using the language. I believe that I am whole. I believe I am full. I believe I am full of love and blessings from the universe. I am in the frequency of abundance. I am calm. I am me. I know that around me things might feel a little bit in disarray, and I am negotiating the way I can. I am whole. And I am the frequency of abundance. Language like that can really be helpful for you. Going forward into our story, going forward into who we are, because it's about becoming us, walking our truth, And like I say to you, your truth is your truth. I'm a perspective. I get downloads from my team. I get downloads from your team to support you on your life's journey. And I'm hoping that somewhere in this conversation that I was here to give you something to inspire you to walk your life, because that's what I'm called to do, is help you walk your life however you are meant to do it. I'm just here as a perspective. And most times, I'm not saying anything. Like my another coworker today had to drive south, and the Seahawks won their Super Bowl, and so today in town was the parade, and they had to go down into that area to go to a doctor today, and they couldn't cancel it. And it was kind of interesting because she was like, I don't know if I'm going to be, and I was like going, well, actually, people should be in town already, and you driving down will be, you'll be not as much in it, right? And she goes, well, you always stay calm, so you don't worry about things. I'm not the same way. Right? It's like, because they've witnessed how I just walk through something. I walk through it. I honor it. I love it. I I might rise up. I might have more energy through it. But the thing is, though, I breathe through it. I give the moment wherever I'm supposed to help somebody or let them be what they're meant to be. And I hope I do it well. God, I hope I do it well for you guys. So, coming into, oh my gosh, look what time it is. It's 42. So, of the hour. So I'm going to be channeling Mother Mary. Mother Mary wanted to come through today. And I just saw a shadow out of my corner of my eye. So she's already here because it was a cloak, that blue cloak that she has. So, and then I will pull maybe some oracle cards. I'm not too sure if I will or not have time because I have a meeting that I have to go to right after this. Hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. So, if you can, remembering that when I'm channeling somebody, a deity, remembering that your truth is your truth. I listen to the words. If you don't believe in channeling, if you believe in kindness and understanding. Now, Mother Mary, to me, she's mom. She doesn't belong to any religion. To me, she's just here. She wants to be like, I know her as White Calf Buffalo Woman in the Native American. She is a lot of different deities in different realms because she comes for who we need her to be. And so when I'm channeling Mother Mary, she will be what she needs for you to be. She is here to talk to you. So just remember, I'm not here to push your belief system. I'm just here to honor where you're at. And she wanted to come through. So thank you for being here. So give me a second here. So I may, it depends on how long she talks. I may pull an oracle card just for everybody and not for individual because I do have another meeting I need to get to. Okay, thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful for whoever can be here with us. Hello, dear ones. You are just an amazing group of individual energies flowing through this life's walk. And as you go into this, remembering that you are part of this journey of the reasons for being here. As you upgrade, as you go through these negotiations, I love that word that she says, that as you go through these negotiations of the ups and downs in yourself, remember that it's not the outer world that you have to worry about. If you are the empath, if you are one that picks up energies around you, remember to discern yourself through them. What's yours is yours. What's theirs is theirs. What stands between you can be what you believe in. It could be a color. It could be your higher self. You could be Mother Mary. It could be whatever you so choose to be in that understanding, because you can be a witness to people. You can be a witness to what they're happening. You don't need to be them. You don't need to help them through their life. You can be a witness of them and support them through words that come to you, but you don't need to step into their reality. Now, there are times when you have children, let's say, and you do need to pick them up and pick them out of the street if they're going to be standing in the middle street when a car is coming. Yes, there are times when you need to support people. Like this dear one was very forceful with someone who had to make some very hard life decisions and to trust herself. So what she did was she was telling her things and listening to her, and then saying something that was very inspirational to her. It was amazing to watch how she knew that she could not step in and make this step for this person. She put it back on her. What is this calling for you? What is this next moment for you? And if this person decided not to do it, Natasha knew her hands were off. She would have to make some boundaries with herself about it, but that was what it was. But gratefully, this person is making choices that are the hardest this one's going to make in her life. She's going to have to finally trust herself for the first time in her life. And that's where everybody is right now, is finding their way to trust themselves more than they've ever have in their lifetime. Even young ones are learning how to be truthful to themselves. Right? They have to believe. And the ones that aren't are going to be walked on, chewed up, and swallowed and spit out. And dear Veronica, dear one, your daughter is right there with that. She does not know that she can believe in herself, and that's okay. You, my dear, were not in the right place to teach her that when she needed that seed, yet she did not want to listen to that seed that you were teaching her. Tricky, isn't that? Because everyone comes on this planet to believe in what they are and who they are, and then to awaken into who they are. And many don't have the tools inside of them through their mind, through their emotions, through their heart center to be who they are. Veronica, your dear daughter, has been very much, how do I say this for you, my dear? Her mind is not what was born through you. Her mind is not what it was as a child. Her mind is as an adult that has gone through her scenarios that she has put into her body. And she is no longer the little one that you wish she was. She is the adult that is making these choices. And my love, dear one, my love goes to you. I, Mother Mary, want to give you a hug, so please receive my hugs tonight in your sleep, because I know it's rough being a mom. It's rough being a mother, to honor that story. This dear one has learned how to understand the love of a mother that is so hands off but love on. Hands off but love on. Whew, isn't that a tricky one for mothering? Hands off but love on. We can love someone with all the moment, but sometimes you'll have to have hands off to let the ones that we love go through their life story. Isn't that the way that it is for everyone in our lives? though? Hands off, love on. Does that mean that we don't help someone when they fall and we have hands on? No, it means we pick them up, we help them up. This dear one hugs more people. She hugs them life on, that physicalness, the hands on with hugs, but it's also love on. But then when somebody needs to make a decision, what does she do? She helps them find it in their own truth. Perfectly imperfect sometimes. This dear one is human too. Mm. So come into this understanding right now that there's going to be people who level up and there's people who do not. And it's so sad when we know that they are the loved ones around us. This dear one, it was going through that split of someone that was close to her that was not leveling up, as the same statement is said. It doesn't mean that we level up like a game, but we can level up like a game. Those little video games, right? You level up because when you level up, you gain tools, you gain inspiration, you gain these metaphorical moments of understanding. You gain a lot, and if you level up, you end up being able to be into the energies that are moving forward, this belief system of where you're at. And if you do not level up, you stay playing the same game over and over and over and over again. And I and your team wish not of this of you. It is hard to be out in the world right now. The vibration of this world is very interesting right now, and it's very hard to be out in it. It's hard to negotiate what you are through it. But remember, you are not it. You are what you are. And this dear one was talking with someone today, and she's a teacher, and she said, you know what? I'm going to embrace the chaos. So doing the teaching, doing the inspiration, doing her job, as it was said, but at the same time, she decided to embrace the chaos by, when the kids were getting a little itchy, she says, okay, it's a drink break. And on the way that you're coming back, remember to grab your book so we can read it when you get back to carpet. Embrace the change, embrace the chaos. It is not for you to fight the energies, it's about walking with them. It's about negotiating them with you. Ride the wave like a surfer does. Not the kid playing on the beach getting overwhelmed by the tide, the wave coming at them. You have tools, my friends. Start using them by trusting, surrendering, accepting. And I love how this one put on, and be proactive in your thoughts and your patterns. Be proactive when the universe says it's time for you to make a choice. A choice to breathe deeper, right? To breathe into the understanding of what's coming into who she is. It's time for you to believe in that empowerment. Be centered in you, and then no one can take down that tree of yourself. It is time for you to believe. You're coming into some magical times of beliefs. Believe in you first. Believe in you can do it second. And believe that you may need to think about it and breathe about it to move into that next step. Then, when the universe says it's time, walk. Have the courageousness to walk forward. I love you. I'm the loving you. Remember, I am here with you, for you, walking you with you to help you through these moments. Remember, as you go into this, love is important. Self-love is important. So be it. Wow. Whew. Thank you for being here and listening through that. I hope it was helpful. Okay, I got 5 more minutes. Hmm. You know what? I haven't used these cards. Visions to the soul. So I'm going to pull a card for Visions of the Soul. I'm going to pull a card that's for everyone because I'm going to have to go soon. So I apologize. I'm not going to pull cards for everybody. So Visions of the Soul, but I will read. Wake them up. I haven't used these cards in a while. Oh, the dragon one got in that one. Oh, what's the harmony? The dragon harmony with that heart. Isn't that cool? Harmony. I may have to read about Harmony because she ended up in that. Okay. Here we go. You're more than welcome. Woo! I think the cards were coming. Heart chakra. Heart chakra. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to read 2 cards, obviously. So Harmony and then the heart chakra. I think I'm going to do Harmony because Harmony came up first. Where are my dragon card books? There we go. So Harmony is 12 or 2. Harmony is 2. Okay, so Harmony. I love the heart in here. Happy Valentine's Day. I know that that's just something that's, it's all about the selling of things, but remembering that, we never know what we're going to have around that time, right? But what we can do is love ourselves through it. Love ourselves through it. Because that's all we really need is self-love. Okay, so Harmony says, tomorrow is a new dawn, and being in our heart active. Let me start over. Today is a new dawn, and a being in our heart center ripples out with positive effects. Harmony is the first shy dragon I met. She is peeking out at me from behind a huge curtain when she first appeared to me. She is quiet and considered being and is lot less brash than some of the other dragons I have encountered. A long one. I asked her about her qualities, and she replied, I am a bringer of harmony, responsive on the inner personal level, resonative on the inner personal level, and the outer global level. If you were wrestling with a problem that you are unable to resolve, ask her to bring in her beautiful, harmonious influence to the situation and guide you in a steps you may need to take. If she has appeared to you today, she asks, what area of your life needs reviewing? What do you need to let go of? Is it judgments or old habits? What is in your life and that needs reharmonizing? I will assist you in taking those first steps, supporting you as you go. Take some time to sit and contemplate your life as it is and look honestly at what may require changing. It may be something quite small, just a little tweak, or it could be life-changing event. She goes on to say, the answers you seek all lie within you. So sit quietly, ground yourself, be present in your and reflect. Your inner knowing under your guidance will help you bring the answers to the surface for you. She reminds us tomorrow is a new dawn, and being in your heart center ripples out with positive effects. She will often appear when there has been discord, or upset. This can be personal or global scale. She is a harbinger of change, and her role is to bring harmony to the world. Oh boy, do we need that right now. Harmony to the world. So maybe on Valentine's Day, think of harmony, to find that harmony to that moment. So, Paula, thank you for being here. I'm sorry. I'm doing just cards pulled for everybody. So this is harmony that was in the back of this deck of Visions of the Soul. And so I pulled harmony. So I read up on harmony. Now I'm reading up on the heart chakra. So that would be for visions. So this is for everybody. So Paula, thank you for being here. Number 4. Heart chakra. Okay, so with this one, it tells you what colors and stuff. Okay, so color is green or pink. The element is air. The gem is an 8-sided triangle, an octagon. Balance, empathy. The keywords are balance, empathy, unconditional love, self-love, compassion. Challenges. They are indecisive, unloved, self-pity, critical, possessive, decisive. New aspects: oneness, universal love. Until you are able to know unconditional love for self, you are limiting the infinite love of the universe from expressing itself through you. Love for self needs nothing but open acceptance for who you are right now. Be open to follow yourself, to love yourself. Especially of past experiences. As you begin to feel this love for self, universe love flows through you, strengthening the feeling of oneness. With that sense of oneness, you are able to express unconditional love out into the world. Isn't that true? So much. Hi, Paula. Yes, I heard, and it makes sense. What you read resonates. Thank you. So, like the show said in the show, what was the theme? That as you're walking through these energies, as the energies try to walk through you, it is about honoring you. You are only as strong as you are. And so sometimes you may need to sit on the couch and rest. You may need to go for a walk. You may need to do these things that can resonate with you to center yourself. Find those moments of self-love, even if it's just learning to take a deep breath, right? It is really time to honor who you are. If you need to go to bed at 9 o'clock so you can go to sleep by midnight, go to bed at 9 o'clock instead of trying to go to bed at 11:30. It's about honoring where you're at. discerning your way through, going forward. So honor yourself by loving yourself. That is the most thing you can do right now. The trees that love themselves are the ones that stand in the wind the most. The ones that, like sometimes when these trees fall over, guess what I'm feeling like? Sometimes they're thinking about the ones that are around them and not necessarily themselves. So honor where you're at. Your body is going through a lot right now, so try to stay off the sugar. Try to stay off of a lot of these like extra things, and remembering those these grounded things. Like I did a roasted chicken, sweet potatoes, and Brussels sprouts the other night. Just that hearty soul food that you can do. And remembering that as you go forward, as we're coming into the spring, oh my gosh, these eclipse seasons, now we're getting into the resonation of the almanac, the energy almanac, right? And this is where it begins in March, right? The March month is about how do you negotiate these stories and these moments, right? So we are in the moment of big shift and changes. The eclipse season, oh my gosh, the eclipse season is here. If anything you can find out through these eclipse seasons is how much you love yourself, right? So if you're looking for I can send a book to you. I have extras, the energy almanacs. They're $65. I can send one to you, and it goes from March to March, so you'll have a full year with it, and it gives you a lot of these different eclipses, like eclipse season. So February 17th is the eclipse. March 3rd, I'm reading it right here. March 3rd is the lunar. Then we have August, and then August 28th, and then back in February, and then February 20th, right? So we have these times that are big shifts and changes, and it's really time. So if you're looking for one, please email me at natasha@intuitiveclarifications.com. Or those that have my cell phone number, you can text me and say, I want one. Text me your address. Email me your address, and I'll send it to you. And it's $65. And it might be $5 for shipping, so $70 will be the price if I'm asking you if you want me to ship it to you. So thank you, everyone. May love be with you, and remember, magic is with you if you believe it. Oh my gosh, this is magical time. Magical time. Ride the ride. You don't have to be in it. You can ride it like a surfer. May love be with you. Bye now.